Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Friday. I just wanted to come out today and start answering some questions that I received from my post about Ask Me Anything About Mediumship that I put up a few weeks ago. To ask me anything, evidential mediumship questions, trance mediumship, healing, spirit world, your development, etc., etc. I will get to about 6 or 7 questions today, I hope, but hopefully not make this video more than half an hour, because I find videos more than 30 minutes or so rather tedious to watch and quite boring to do. So let's see how we do. Okay, so my first question came from Rachel. Hello, I have a couple of questions. Are there any physical effects on you as an instrument after regular trance work over the long term? Yeah, but I feel they're all positive, Rachel. In terms of the physical effects, I feel that my physicality, my physical mechanism, my body just becomes more sensitive to the presence and the energy of the spirit world. I can feel them moving into my energy field, into my aura, into my physical body. And then as they lightly and gently caress my spirit essence and prepare to entrance me to move over my awareness and my subconscious to overshadow me, I can feel them more. So what this has done, it has really helped me just feel the presence of spirit, not just for trance, but for evidential mediumship, healing. When I do spiritual assessments, I can feel my guides coming closer. I can feel the spirit communicator coming closer for evidential mediumship. So I feel all the effects are positive. I guess some negative physical effects for trance would be if you sat for like 5-6 hours, because that's just bad for your body not to move for that long. So I wouldn't suggest sitting for more than an hour or so. But no, I don't really find there any negative effects to it. They also give me power. They also give me healing when I'm sitting in trance. So I come out of trance very energized and very I don't know, feeling very powerful. So no, I don't feel like there are any negative effects. I mentioned the positive effects. Also, how can people practice by themselves, or should you always have someone there to keep an eye on you? Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, my cat's coming. Okay. Um, Keep an eye on you. I don't think anything bad's going to happen if you sit in the trance state on your own, but you should always have someone with you, because if you're working on your trance speaking, you have to have someone there to listen to what you're saying. You don't want to remain or try to remain aware of what you're saying, because then you're not fully in a trance state. Your conscious mind is activated because you're trying to listen to what you're saying. So that's not good, and that's kind of counterproductive for the entranced states. So I think it's good to have someone to practice with. Like I said, not to keep an eye on you, and you're not going to like fall over off the chair or anything, but just to hear what you're saying. Or you can also do it in a way where you can set the intention for your spirit control, because that's what we call your guide, usually when they work through you, to speak through you, write through you, or heal through you when you're in a trance state. Just ask them to give your sitter, through your voice, advice, counsel, insight to their spiritual development to the person opposite you, and then you can switch, and then they can work through the trance states, through trance speaking, and allow their guides in the spirit world to give you wisdom, counsel, or direction. So that's always good. I always prefer doing trance with other people. However, actually, I'm going to correct myself. That's not always true. At this point, if I feel that my guide has something to say and I'm alone, I'll just do this. I'll go on Zoom, or I'll open QuickTime, and I'll just record myself. And usually then they start speaking, and then I can listen to it after. And if I feel like it's meant for me, I'll leave it for me. Or if I feel like it's meant for the world, I'll post it somewhere so everyone else can hear it. Okay, well, thank you, Rachel. Good question. Okay, Vessi. Oh, all these trance questions. Okay. I have tried trance mediumship both without a course and by myself. When I got it spontaneously, it was easy. My body allowed it. When I tried it to do it in a class, the spirit energy was too strong. Even when I pulled back my conscious mind and allowed them to overtake my body, overtake is the wrong word. They work through us. They don't overtake anything. They're never going to do anything in the trance state that makes us uncomfortable. But okay, I get what she's saying. I experienced that it was too much for my body and neck. I stopped breathing. And of course, my body came back, of course, because you come back from, you whip yourself back into the conscious mind when there's a shock like that. The teacher told me my body, my body's memory reacted as I had some incidences, some accidents, sorry, with diving, swallowing my tongue, and dramatic surgery when I was young. My question is, what technique can I use to make blending in trance easier? Well, I mean, I think you answered your own question. Obviously, no disrespect to the teacher or whoever did this class, that's the wrong class for you because you're able to do it on your own and it was fine without having these dramatic reactions. Then I would suggest whatever you did to get yourself into the trance state on your own, continue to do that or find another class. Um, it should be light. There's nothing the spirit world will do that will scare us or hurt us, but sometimes their energy can come on rather fast. And I do understand what you're saying, Vessi. Um, Sometimes in a trance class setting, the energy is quite strong, so it comes through very quickly. But you just have to talk to the spirit world, talk to your spirit guides, talk to your spirit control, and say, you need to pull back on the energy. It's pulling me back into my conscious mind. Um, so yeah, just sit and ask them. Blend with me easier, friends. Be gentle with your energy, friends, and you'll see they'll pull back. In terms of in terms of how your body's reacting, sort of like body past trauma and things like that, possibly, but that's your own fear that is going to happen again. So you need to address these things because fear is like it's a stop to the spirit energies as they try to come through in trance and evidential. It doesn't matter what you're doing with mediumship. If there's any sort of fear in your conscious mind or anywhere in your physical body, even, it's going to stop the spirit energies from coming through. I think you just have to, like I said, just reach out to the spirit world and say, Jay, be gentler with me, be more aware of the energies you're focusing on me, friends. Be calmer with the energies and you'll see it should be better. Okay. Sandra asks, hi Joseph, I can feel spirit is trying to communicate with me through clairaudience. What can I do to be able to hear them clearly? Would Reiki on myself help? I think any sort of healing you can do on yourself is good. Reiki, spirit healing, trance healing, energy healing, doesn't matter. It all comes from the same source. The more self-healing you can do, the better. As I mentioned with Vesi's questions, the more healing we can do to remove these blocks that we have from childhood, from adolescence, from yesterday even, it helps to allow the spirit energies to flow through us freely so we can just be a clear and pure channel, conduit vessel for the spirit energies to work through us. So healing can always help. I don't think healing's going to help your clairaudience get better, but it might help you in terms of doubts you might have, or maybe you had a clairaudient experience when you were younger that scared you. So it could help with that. Healing is always good. Self-healing, self-healing, self-healing. That's a big part of mediumship. And I would like to do a mediumship sort of self-help group at some point, because this is something a lot of classes should be doing and they don't. We all need to look and hold this mirror up um, and look at ourselves and our reactions and our feelings and our pasts to heal ourselves. Anyway, I digress. I got on my soapbox for a second, excuse me. Anything that you can help with your clairaudience? Yes, ask them to help you. Ask them to work through your clairaudience more. When you go into a sitting, your next sitting, practice sitting, semi-professional sitting, whatever, say, please, Spirit, I would like you to work through my clairaudience to deliver your evidence of so-called death, messages of healing, love, through my clairaudience. And you'll see your clairaudience will start to improve. You can also do some exercises like you sit in a quiet space and just start by imagining the sounds of the ocean, imagining the sounds of birds, the wind, a stream, mostly nature sounds, and then reach out with your spirit ear and just when you're connecting with the spirit communicator, just start seeing if you can hear the sounds that they're bringing through your clair audience and start the reading like that. You might hear a car, you might hear music. So just, yeah, ask the spirit world for help. I'm a big proponent of, if I want to work on a certain clear, I'll ask them. They're our best teachers and they are responsible for our development. So there you go. There's that. Um, Colleen, I've been noticing an abundance of headaches with my practice. Is this normal? Or am I doing something wrong? First, Colleen, drink water, 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 work with the spirit world. I find dehydrates us. So always have a bottle of water, a glass of water around you when you're working. With your question, then I have questions for you. How many readings are you doing? Maybe you're doing too many at once, and you need to figure out how many readings are you comfortable doing a day. Is it more than two? Is it three? Is it four? If it's one reading, stick to one reading. And it's, I find mediumship is like going to the gym and doing weight training. You have to, or running or whatever, you need to work on your endurance. You need to build your stamina. So if you're doing one, just stick with one and then go to two for a few weeks. And then if you want, go to three. And then you'll see you have to build up your strength with this. Also, I need to ask you then, are you feeling you're using your own power, your own energy when you're working with spirit? Because what I do is I just allow them to give me power and give me energy. Of course, I'm powering my own light up and I'm building my power, but I'm not using my power through with the evidential mediumship or any sort of mediumship, allowing them to power me up. So when I do any sort of reading at this point or anything with spirit, I feel rather energized, I think, like I said before. So just figure out how many readings you feel comfortable doing a day, a week, and then slowly start increasing it. More than three readings a day, I feel is too many. I can't even do that. I do it sometimes, but then I know that's my limit in terms of evidential readings or spiritual assessments. So yeah, just slowly build that up. Okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You just want to practice, which is good. And then my other question to you is, how long is each reading? If a reading is about half an hour, that's good. If it's about an hour, that's too long. Okay. But yeah, slowly build it up. Okay. So Robin, hi Robin. I love Robin. Okay. So here's her, what's her question now? See if she's wording it right. It's okay. I'll figure out. Does it take an advanced, oh, all these trance questions, does it take an advanced soul to come through in trance, or is it more dependent on the medium's ability to go into trance and connect with those spirits? If a medium hasn't developed or never develops trance abilities, would those spirits try to find someone else they could speak through, even if they don't remain as guides to the initial medium? I know we have certain guides, certain spirits connected to us, and many through our lives. If we can't give them a voice with trance, would they move on to another person who has that ability, or is trance dependent on the medium guide relationship for it to develop first? Well, I don't believe our guides, if we're not going the way that they want us to go, I don't believe they pack their bags and leave us and say, bye, bye, medium. I think they know where our development path will go in our lifetime here in the physical world for spiritual progression in life. So I think they know, and we've worked this out with all of our guides in the spirit world before we came here, that somewhere along your lifeline, your life plan, trance will come into it, and then you have guides that are just connected to you who want to work with you through trance speaking, trance writing, trance healing. So they know what we're going to do in our lives. So I don't believe they pick up and leave. No. Okay. Our guides don't give up on us. The spirit world never turns their backs on us. Sometimes we can turn our back on the spirit world, but they have all the time in the world. Okay. So no, I think they know what they're doing, and they know what we're going to do. Okay. So, and then she has another question. I'm going to paraphrase here, that she works with a trance medium that I know, and she has a younger spirit that comes through and speaks through this medium. She's young soul, or perhaps presents herself as young, possibly. And she's totally different energy. She makes me laugh. Great. She should. Spirit world should always make you feel joyous and happy. Yeah, I think some spirit guides present themselves as children. I know a few trance mediums that they'll allow their spirit controls, spirit guides, to speak through them, and they come through as children. Perhaps they passed as children. But yeah, we have all sorts of guides that want to work through us, through speaking, through healing, through writing, through painting, perhaps through music. So yeah, there are all sorts of guides, and I think how they choose to present themselves is really up to them. I really don't question that. Okay, thank you, Robin. I had to pause the video for a second. Someone knocked on my door. Hopefully, I can cut these videos together in a nice manner. Let's see. Anyway, so the next question is from Josephine. It's a longer question, so I'm just going to paraphrase what she's asking, and hopefully I'll answer her correctly. She's saying when she does workshops and sits in these spiritual settings for mediumship development, et cetera, she feels the presence of the spirit world and of God, and she loves it. Yes, they blend with you beautifully. But when she's sitting on her own, she might not. I think this is normal. I think when we're sitting with a group of other mediums and students, fellow truth seekers of spirit intelligence and a good instructor, that energy, that spirit energy is sort of concentrated. And I do know the spirit world work with us quite well when we're in a teaching situation, when we're learning things. They want us to learn. So they really do help the teacher um, with their energy being higher, I feel, my belief. And then she's saying when she's on her own, she might not feel it as much. However, she is saying when she does 5 readings a day, and I sort of jumped at that, far too many, honey. Josephine, pull back. That's far too many. You need maybe 3 would be the maximum to do. So I think she's sort of answering her own question when she's telling me she's doing 5 readings a day, that she doesn't feel the blending. You're not feeling the blending because you're tired, and that's too many. So I would limit it to like 2 and then see how you feel with the 2. And then perhaps 3 and see if you're feeling the blending of the 3. Because when you hit 4 or 5, your energy is really depleted. So you don't feel the spirit world coming as close. Of course, they come as close, but we can't really feel it because we're just tired. So what happens then, that's the next part of her question, is then I find we automatically flip to psychic because our energy is drained. So 5 is far too many. I think it's fine to go psychic, but you have to be honest with yourself and the sitter. This is why a lot of people call themselves psychic mediums and they mix a mediumship reading with a psychic reading. Totally fine if you're honest about it. But yeah, I think the reason that you're not feeling the blending after that many readings is that you're just tired. So you need to slowly build your tolerance. But I don't even want to do 5 things a day. I have in the past, and it was not good. And I didn't feel like I was my best. Okay. So I think just allow yourself, give yourself the self-care to really just work on your tolerance and your ability to do as many readings as you possibly can and then build up on it. Okay. So, and then she has a lot of questions about blending. How can you blend more? You can blend more by just sitting sometimes, not for spirit contact, and sit on your own and just ask the spirit world to come closer. Ask your spirit guides, past loved ones, friends, and spirit, and just start blending with you and feel them. Ask them to come closer. Have one come in, feel their essence, lean into them with your awareness and your sensitivity, feel their personality, feel who they are, hear them, see them, feel them, and then have them pull out, and then have another one come in and blend with you. And you'll feel the difference in the energy. And what this does is it also allows you to understand when you're getting ready to work, when the blending starts to occur, because you might feel, and what I get is like a surge of energy on the right side of my face. So you know they're here and you know you're ready to work. So just ask them to come closer. I think a lot of these questions can be answered directly from spirit. Just ask them to help. Just ask them to help you. Ask them to move closer. Ask them to have you feel their presence more, and they will, okay? Yes, you should meditate more, Josephine, and just see how you feel with the meditations. And they will come closer to you. There's something I'm really going to paraphrase this, but there's something that Silver Birch said about when we can just remove ourselves from the physical sort of like mind mind trap that we get ourselves in, where conscious mind is always working. When we can just get into the quiet and be with our own spirit, then we allow the spirit world to move closer and just work with us. They might provide power, they might provide healing, they might provide teachings, but we have to be quiet to feel these things. So it's all there. Okay, and Josephine has another question. How do psychics get premonitions? How? Don't know how. Like the ones you get personally, or the big famous mediums do premonitions like the 10 years in the future. I don't know if that's really, it depends. That you have like psychic premonitions where you might know who's going to call, or an email you're going to get, you'll get an email from this person. Those I feel are just part of our sensitivities, that we're able to sort of look a bit forward and see what's going to happen within the next 10 or 20 minutes. Premonitions, and then you have prophecies. Prophecies, doing prophetic readings, that I feel that's mediumship, where you reach out to the spirit world and God, and they can really tell you what's going to happen. You need to be careful with prophecy, though. I do prophecy once a year for myself, and I basically sit on New Year's Day for about an hour, and I just allow the spirit world just to give me sort of tidbits on what's going to happen for the following year for me. And I just write everything down and I put it away, and I look at it twice a year. I look at it in June and I look at it at the end of the year, like around Christmas, and I see what really hits. And a lot of times, like 9 times out of 10, most things hit that I would have read down from spirit. Prophecy and fortune telling needs to be careful with, because you don't want to bring through information that's sort of going to influence your sitter too much, because it is all free will. So it's not a meditation that they do, because that's the last question that Josephine's asking. Is it a meditation they do? No, it's all about intention. Most of this is intention, Josephine. Okay. So if you just set the intention for the spirit world to maybe give you some prophetic messages for yourself, you can do it for people you're practicing with. I wouldn't do it with the public, with civilians. It just gets tricky to me. But I will do sometimes prophecy sittings with friends who are mediums, and we'll practice with each other. And a lot of times they come true. Okay. Josephine has a third question. Oh, girl, Josephine got a lot of questions. How do I get closer to spirit? I know I work with spirit 100%. How do I get them to tell me what it's really like on the other side? Okay, so same thing. Just ask them. Sit in a quiet space. Allow yourself to go into this beautiful passive state, this meditative state. Just ask them, show me, friends, show me what it's like in your world. I did do a meditation attunement series about a year ago where I did a spirit world tour. Maybe I'll do that again. That's quite fun. I've done this a few times for open sessions, and you just allow the spirit world to take you to the spirit world and show you what they will allow you to see from their world. And a lot of times the details that people bring back are quite amazing. So just ask them. They'll show you what they're allowed to show you, and they'll show you what you're allowed to see, basically. So yeah, just ask them. They'll show you. And also there are a lot of older books written before about 1920, 1930, that talk about the workings of the spirit world, and that it's not just us hanging out on clouds playing harps. It's a full society. It's organized. There are offices. We do work. There are different levels of awareness there for different sort of levels of spirit, which are quite cool as you progress and move up. So yeah, but maybe I'll do another open session like that. She has a fourth question, but I'm going to leave it. That's enough questions from Josephine. Sorry, I was interrupted again. Okay, so last question I'm going to do today is from Sharon. Hello, Joseph. I have a question. I've been told by a medium that I have blocked energy from past life trauma. It's stopping me from connecting to spirit. Do you have any advice for how I can remove this trauma, or do I need some healing? Or is this something I can work on by myself? Thank you for your time. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to deal with my first issue on this question before I get to the actual question. So I'm going to get back on my soapbox for a second. I have a big problem when people say things like this to people, because right away it puts like this negative thought, this negative implant in your head that you're walking around saying, I can't connect to spirit because I have a past life trauma. That can never be proven. And I really do think it stops you in your development. So I would just release that immediately. And you can't prove that, you can't confirm it or deny it. So in my mind, there's really no reason to think about it. So can we use healing? We could always use healing. We can always use healing from, past life trauma. I'm more concerned about current life trauma, from our childhood, from our adulthood, whatever. From, like I said, from yesterday. So can always use healing. How you're reacting to things, how you're reacting to walking into a reading. What are you bringing into a mediumship reading or a platform gallery setting? Are you bringing fear? Do you feel self-conscious from maybe not being seen or not being heard as a child? Are you anxious? Are you nervous to speak in front of people? These are all things, those you can heal, and those you can move forward. Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid of getting no's? These are all things that you have to deal with, because in mediumship, you will fail sometimes and you will get no's, but you need to learn how to finesse these no's to get a yes. Okay. So I'm more concerned about healing myself from this current life than past lives, because, like I said, you can't confirm or sort of deny anything from past lives. So yeah, work on healing. Just sit and do a love meditation. Just send love out into the world, and as you send your love into the world, just circle the globe and have the love come back to yourself, and you'll see the more love you send, the more love you'll receive, and it just becomes a cycle of love. Ask the spirit world to heal you. Ask them to give you spirit healing, to surround you with healings, to surround you with love. But also just be honest with your reactions to the spirit world. Is there fear involved? A lot of times we have fear from religious upbringings, or fear of the devil, fear of sort of attachments or dark energy. These things you have to get over, because you have this fear, you're going to block the spirit world from getting through. Okay, so the last question that I will take, it was actually, I got it a few times, just suggest books about mediumship that have sort of influenced me. Like I said before, a lot of the books that I read are written really early, so they're not even available in print anymore. They are PDFs that I can download, and then I just put them into my tablet. But W.T. Stead is a really good book, Letters from Julia. And then what I like about W.T. Stead is he continued to write from the spirit world. He passed on the Titanic, which I find fascinating. He wrote through trance mediums, through the word or through words, where he would write spirit teachings from the spirit world and talk to us about how the spirit world was organized and what the spirit world was like. Okay. But in terms of books you can actually order and get, I love anything by Arthur Finley. This one, On the Edge of the Etheric, is really good because it scientifically explains the spirit world, which is great. One of the best books, hard to get anymore though, is the biography of Gordon Higginson, On the Side of Angels. You can get it, but it's out of print. So they need to start printing this more, and it's quite expensive to get through the States. But this is one of the best books on mediumship and the life of one of the best mediums in the history of spiritualism. I think he approved all the galleys, the proofs of this book, about a few days before he passed in the early 90s. Great book. Another book that I love is Maurice Barbanel. This is spiritualism. Maurice Barbanel is the trance medium that the spirit guide Silver Birch spoke through, and there are tons of Silver Birch writings. Silver Birch has a ton of books written by Maurice Barbanel or his wife, Sylvia Barbanel. Silver Birch is always great to read. But one of the best books that I know about mediumship in general is a really, really small book. And it's horribly expensive for just a small book. In the States, in the UK, it's only about £10, but you can get it. It's a guide for the development of mediumship by Harry Edwards. I love it. It's like, there's no nonsense. It doesn't go into love and light, angels, or anything like that. It's just very fact-based. Okay. And this is really good. Incredibly no nonsense and to the point. Best book. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm sorry I had to stop the video here and there. Too many people interrupting me and not allowing me to do my work. I will try to edit the smoothest way that I can. Yeah, but keep the questions coming, and I hope this video helps some people. Have a good day. Bye.